Are you ready for the future? Check out the South Carolina Technical College system coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're on the main campus of Florence Darlington Technical College. We're focused on the South Carolina Technical College system, and we're visiting with Dorr Depew, the Vice President of Institutional Advancement at Northeastern Technical College in Cheraw. Good morning, Dorr.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Incredible opportunity all week to highlight the system, the college system, an amazing benefit to be able to focus on 5 area schools, obviously getting Northeastern in, which serves a very important focus of our market.
Right.
Obviously, Dillon County, Marlborough County, and Chesterfield County, much of our service area. So it's exciting to be able to focus on schools that we actually have a dramatic impact on.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity.
Very definitely. Can we talk real quick about yourself? Are you originally from the area?
I'm from Charlotte. I've been in Cheraw for 28 years. Went to school in North Carolina, but moved to Cheraw after working for a newspaper for a couple of years out of school. And I started doing PR for Northeastern, which was Chesterfield Marlborough back then. And I moved into grants writing, fundraising, a lot of other responsibilities. But it's a great place to be.
What year was that you joined the administration?
That was 75.
Oh, not to put years on you. Sorry.
Yeah, I was very young then.
You still got that youth now. And so the experience of working with a newspaper prior to coming on the administration side there, that must have been exciting.
I think it was. Journalism's a good background for all kinds of things. You get a perspective on how things work, and I think it's been beneficial.
Let's talk about your responsibilities as Vice President of Institutional Advancement. Those are some big words that...
Well, it's a fancy title. All it means is we move the college ahead, we publicize, we raise money, we get federal and state and local grants and donations, we coordinate planning functions. We also, in our area, we have the computer systems and what we call institutional effectiveness, which means how well do we do our job of educating students.
Great. That's very important to be able to track that. Is that common within all of the 16 colleges?
The institutional effectiveness function it's sort of like what industry would consider quality control or quality management. It's a way of knowing how well we do our job.
We didn't talk about that yesterday, particularly in the early interview kicking off the week, but that's a really important role. So they're able out of Columbia to monitor what's happening within all 16 of the college campuses.
They can monitor, and the really important thing, I believe, is that we monitor it ourselves, right, because we really want to know if we're meeting our students' needs, and the work that we do locally to find out about that is helpful. We use it all the time to change programs, add services, that sort of thing.
That's spectacular. Can we talk real quick about the founding of Northeastern Technical College?
It was founded in 1968, started operating in 69. Started out with just several hundred students, and when I joined up in 75, I think there were about 550, maybe 600. Now we're serving about 1,100. And in continuing education, in our non-credit programs, we're up around 5,000, 5,500 a year. So it's been quite a lot of growth.
5,500 a year.
Yes.
Door. And the primary communities you serve?
Well, we serve Chesterfield, Marlborough, and Dillon counties. It's a very rural area, a very large area. But as we'll talk about, I think, here on the program, we're reaching out to serve some of those more remote communities a lot more effectively with some community campuses.
Where are some of those community campuses located?
Well, those will be in Dillon, Pageland, and Bennettsville, and construction is now being completed on those. We are looking at dedication ceremonies in May and beginning operation in the early summer with some courses.
Is that right? And how did you all decide? Obviously, as you said earlier, Chesterfield Marlborough campus was the original focus, but to roll into Dillon County, that was a big move.
Well, it's part of the state that is in the northeastern corner of the state, and it's adjacent to our original service area. And many years ago, we began to work with Dillon County, and they've been very, very open and receptive to our offering courses there. And the fact that we're opening a community campus there, that's the culmination of that partnership that's gone back a long time. We will now have a physical presence on 301 south of Dillon. about a 5,000 square foot building, small, but it'll be a start, and I know it will grow. And likewise in Bennettsville, we have a downtown location there, a very similar building. In fact, we're using the same plans, maybe switched a couple of things around. And in Pageland, we'll be south of town on 151.
Okay, great, good. Can we talk about the programs offered at Northeastern?
Sure.
Obviously, and how they impact the employer and employee needs within the communities.
Well, you know, a technical college in South Carolina, the whole model is a comprehensive college. It's technical in terms of technical workplace needs. It's comprehensive because it also, in addition to those skills, we also offer business, computers, allied health, and we also offer the college transfer program. So a student has all sorts of options, and those options are not exclusive. A student could, for example, start off in a technical field with some very specific skills in a technology, and then he or she could move later into to college transfer if they wanted to go ahead and get a business degree or a management degree to complement those technical skills. But we're very much into meeting the employment needs of industries and businesses and technical and healthcare. The employers in our area are our primary customers, right along with our students.
You know, Dorr, I was really excited when I went to the South Carolina Technical College website, and there was a question-answer page, and one of the basic questions was, what's the big difference between a 2-year and a 4-year education, or a 2-year and a 4-year school? And the website gave an answer, simply none. There's not a big difference. Surely the goals are still the same. You have to meet college requirements,
of course,
which was really important to see.
Well, the accreditation requirements are identical for Northeastern and South Carolina or Clemson or any of the colleges in the state or in the southeast region. We have to meet absolutely the same standards of quality. And the nice thing is that we don't compete against each other. We prepare students, as I said, for the technical fields, as well as if they want to transfer into one of the 4-year colleges or universities. They can do that easily because the courses are at the same level.
Absolutely.
The freshman and sophomore courses.
A very important issue. How about some of the challenges that Northeastern faces serving such a large rural area? I know you laid out those 3 counties. I think someone had said it was 1,700 square miles you all are serving.
That's correct. It's a very rural area. There are some population centers. And I guess the biggest challenge would be one of access. If you live away from our main campus now, you've got a pretty good little drive through the country to get there. And people are working and they have families. And access is key. That's one of the main reasons that we've done the community campuses. And also we have developed a distance learning capability that's throughout the technical college system, but in Northeastern, we've set up distance learning in all of those 3 communities that I mentioned in Dillon, Chesterfield, and Marlborough counties, that we can project courses from our campus in Cheraw to a high school or community center, and now to our new campuses. So the student sitting in that remote location is able to interact with students and instructor on the main campus. So that's been a tremendous technological way of increasing access for our students.
And Dorr, you were able to do those prior to the decision, and I guess that helped make the decision to set up those locations within Pageland and Bennettsville and Dillon.
Yes, because from a cost standpoint, we're obviously not able to go out and hire a whole new faculty for each one of those places, especially not with the budget situation like it is now. We're pinching every penny, so we can take an instructor and a course that we have already in place, and we can project that course to 3 or more locations with very little additional cost except for the technology and for a staff person to be at the remote site to support the students.
That's spectacular.
And that's not all we'll do at those sites. I don't want to imply that. We'll have a lot of courses that are live and right there, but the specialized courses, a lot of them will be done by distance learning.
Is this done throughout most of the schools throughout the state?
It's done at all of the technical colleges. In fact, we have a program called Tech Online, and it's a coordinated effort to share resources among the colleges and to project these courses that maybe a larger college would have a specialized course. It could share that course with smaller ones. And in fact, even as a small school, we share some of our courses with other colleges as well.
Yes, that's a very good point. Does Northeastern Technical College work on a regular basis with businesses to design courses specifically tailored to a business?
Absolutely. In fact, if we didn't do that, we'd be out of business very quickly. We design our courses to meet the needs, the employment needs, the business needs, And what was good in 1980, it changed in 1990, and what was good in 1990 has now changed. And even what was needed maybe 2 years ago, it's changing all the time. And we have advisory committees. Mr. Briggs, who will be on the program next, is on our board of trustees. He and his other board members provide input. We constantly are talking with our employers so that we know exactly what they need and that we can change our programs to meet those needs.
That'll be exciting to hear Mr. Briggs talk about that.
Yes, it will.
That's right. Surely to think about that impact on a daily basis of employers' needs and being able to meet those needs or working to meet those needs. When you think about the role that Northeastern has on the region's business economy, can you gauge, obviously you talk about tailoring classes for businesses themselves, when you think about the impact, the financial impact that you all have?
Well, it's really kind of staggering to think about it, and we feel very good about this because nearly every industry and business that is operating in the three counties, we have had the privilege to be involved in some way in either in their startup, in their employee upgrade training, in new initiatives that they have that we can provide through continuing education, quality management, specialized technologies. We've been able to partner with almost all of our employers, and in that way we're touching lives. We're touching the lives of employees there. We're helping people improve their economic situation, move into the workforce, and then when job market changes, we also help people who may need to upgrade their skills, may need to get into a different field as the workplace evolves.
Doris, as we think about 1975, you said, as we think about those almost 28 years at Northeastern Technical College, can you talk real quick about some of the changes that have happened in technical education? Obviously, you said things that were good in 1980 have changed in 90 and even in 2000 to 2002.
Well, obviously, the main thing has been the advent of computers. That all took place in the 80s and 90s, and now we consider, everybody has a computer and uses it, but it's affected our curriculum, it's affected the way we deliver programming, and it's become a basic skill in what we do, as well as the other technological innovations that have come along in the 90s. The healthcare field has changed so much. We have a practical nursing program and a lot of certified nursing assistance programs that we would not have had then, because the healthcare field, even in rural areas like ours, has grown tremendously.
Dorr. When we think, obviously, the primary project you all have had are those new community campuses and other locations. Are there other projects going on within Northeastern currently?
Well, of course, we're trying to work on our distance learning. We're trying to expand that process, make that even more effective from cost-wise, and we're working on curriculum development all the time.
How are these projects funded primarily? Obviously, state primarily, I suppose.
Well, actually, federal money has been a big player in this. We've been very fortunate to receive over the years some money from what they call the Title III program of the Department of Education. The community campuses have been heavily funded by the U.S. Economic Development Administration because that does stimulate economic development. And, of course, we have had very strong support from our local governments, our county governments, our school districts. We've partnered with these organizations, Greg.
Dorr, how important. Is there any way you can summarize the importance of the most important aspect the school would provide to the community? It's so difficult, and I know obviously getting John Briggs in a few minutes it'll be good to hear about how Takata Highland has teamed up with the college. But is there a way to really focus on one of the most important services the college provides?
Well, I would summarize it a couple of ways. First of all, providing access for people in a rural area, it's so key because there are people who would never be able to go to a four-year college, and they start with us. We may provide all that they need for right now. They may transfer somewhere else. It's an access point. It's very cost-effective, not only for the students, but for the taxpayers of South Carolina. Second thing is that we're very responsive and flexible. Companies like Mr. Briggs' company can come to us and say, we need this. We can turn it around for them. And that's partly because of our small size, and it's partly because that's our mission. Our mission is to be responsive. And that's part of what makes us unique, what makes technical and community colleges such an asset to a community.
You heard Dorr Depew say it. the mission is to be responsive. Within the community, Northeastern Technical College has done just that. Thank you so much for being with us this morning,
Thank
Dorr.
you, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with John Briggs coming up next. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're on the main campus of Florence Darlington Technical College. We're focused on the South Carolina Technical College system, and we're visiting with John Briggs, the Senior Human Resource Manager at Takata Highland in Cheraw. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting hearing Dorr talk about all of what's going on in Chesterfield County, particularly with Northeastern Technical College, and to think about the excitement within the county. It was really a treat to get you in and to spend the time hearing about what's going on with Takata Highland and your involvement with the Technical College Board.
Well, thank you for having me.
Let's talk real quick about yourself. Are you originally from the area?
I'm originally from Cary, North Carolina, outside of Raleigh. I grew up there, went to college in Chapel Hill, went to work with Ralston Purina out of college there in Raleigh, worked there for a couple years, transferred with him to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for a couple more years, moved my wife at the time with me, and then moved on to Memphis, Tennessee for about 8 or 9 years when my children were all born. Came back to Raleigh for a couple more years and then moved on to Washington, D.C., there for 2 years, and to outside Philadelphia for 3 more years. About that point, I decided it was time to get back home and change companies, and went to work with Takata Highland in early 1990.
Really? So you've been in Chesterfield County almost 13 years?
I have.
Right at
13 years.
That's spectacular. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about Takata Highland for folks who may not be familiar with it? Of course, the bulk of our viewers are in the PD, in Horry and Georgetown County, and up in Robeson and Scotland County. So a lot of folks on the southern part of the TV market may not be familiar with Takata Highland.
Be glad to. The plant we're in is located in the town limits of Cheraw. It at one time was a Burlington Industries plant. It was purchased exactly 15 years ago to this month by Takata Corporation out of Japan. And we have added a second plant since that purchase. We make industrial fabrics there, weave and knit industrial fabrics, and we also make airbag systems for cars, for the driver, passenger, and side systems on cars. And we have approximately 800 people in the operation. We've got a large customer base. We tailor a lot of our business to Honda, Nissan, Toyota, General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford. So we have a good chunk of business with the major automakers here in the States and in Europe.
That's spectacular. Now, when you joined, did Takata Highland already have a presence there in Chesterfield County?
They had just purchased the plant, just started it up, and the restraint plant was just beginning to start producing product. We had about 30 people in the whole operation. It did grow to about 600 people, so it's really blossomed nicely, and we're a good employer in the community and very supportive of the community.
And you're one of a number of employers that have a very intimate role with Northeastern Technical College.
Yes, sir, we are. We're very blessed to have a diverse industry in Cheraw, a good bit of industry for the town's size, and we have some real strong partnerships with the community college, with Northeastern.
Well, please, let's talk about those. Some of those partnerships, obviously, particularly about Takata Highland's relationship. Have you been on the board there for a while?
I've been on the board about 5 years now with the college, and tried to bring an industry influence to the board if I can, and be as much help as I can to the board.
And the board is made up almost exclusively of business partnerships, or?
There's about 3 people on the board from business. A majority on the board are from education backgrounds with the school systems, the 3 counties we service from Northeastern. And we do have several retired business people on the board to go with that, too. So there's about 12 members from various walks of life in the Cheraw area.
When you think about the impact that Northeastern Technical College has had on not only Chesterfield County, but obviously also a big focus on Marlborough County, a heck of a lot of the students coming over from there, as well as Dillon County. I was interested to see, obviously Florence Darlington Technical College, where we're located today, had some influence on working into Dillon County, but to see the impact that Northeastern's had on Dillon and the close proximity
We're real fortunate. We're just getting ready to open satellite campuses in Dillon, in Pageland, and in Bennettsville to offer classes more accessible to students in those communities from Northeastern. And we're looking forward to it. We're excited about it. We expect and see a great response to that for the communities involved.
John, when you think about the primary impact, I'm sure it's difficult to think because there's so many impacts that the college has had on the community. If you could try to pinpoint the primary impact that Northeastern Technical College has had on the community, whether of Chesterfield or of the entire region there, how could you characterize the?
I think the main impact that the college has had is preparing people for the workforce for that area. It's preparing them to do more with their lives, to improve their livelihood, their earning power, and prepare them for the technical degrees, the technical needs of industry in that three-county area. It's just a better quality of life, and it's what it brings to the communities. And I think it's something we really need, and especially in a rural setting, it does attract industry. We've got a very active economic development board in Chesterfield County, very aggressively going after new business. And one of the big items that we can sell to them, prospective new companies, is that we have a community college in town that is very, very flexible, very receptive, very willing to do what industry wants. And that is in preparing people for the skills needed in their workforce. So we're really blessed to have that and very fortunate to have Northeastern in our three-county area.
For folks who may not have had experience within the technical college setting, when you think about, I know you talked about that impact and the direct, surely on recruiting business of the area. When you think about the role of technical education in economic development, I know a lot's going on right now within the state on a constant basis. You hear about the gentleman at Roche, Don Harriet, who's so involved on a statewide basis of recognizing it's just education that ties into economic development on such an important basis. When you think about that role of technical education and economic development, can you try to, I know Dorr talked a little bit about that, but can you try to talk about how that has a direct impact?
Well, yeah, it has a direct impact in that the technology will change over the years. Either equipment changes or needs changes or product changes. And by having a close relationship with the technical college, with Northeastern, we can actually go to them and spell out exactly what we want. They're very reactive, proactive to that, and can give us what we want. And the student tailor the courses to our exact needs, right down to the finite industry. They have tailored programs to the specific industries in our communities.
That is huge when you think about it, John.
It is. It's very, very, very attractive to industry.
That is dramatic as you think about. I know we hear so much now about how manufacturers are making changes based on, for instance, Walmart. Walmart's such an important influence for manufacturers that they oftentimes now, because of studies done within stores, they immediately make changes on their product lines to cater to how it will sell within Walmart. To have a technical college on site where they are making course changes dependent on the communities of which they're serving.
They're very responsive, and that's a big plus. And I think you've seen the statistics as well, that there's so many more jobs in this state that are technically related with 2-year degrees required or needed as compared to 4-year degrees. It's just a real bonus for us, a real plus to have the school so close by and so proactive.
And that really is that's probably almost one of the most recognized benefits. Can you think of other benefits, John?
Yes, they take an active part in community affairs, in the development of various community activities for the students, for the local civic organizations. The community college works hand in hand with those to make the town better, make the offerings better to the residents of the three-county area. It's a totally positive environment and very positive with community affairs and an influential part of the community.
John, as a board member, what do you see as the highest priorities for technical education in general and for Northeastern in particular?
I think it's key. It's preparing the residents of our three counties for the workforce, for the changing workforce, being able to attract new business as well as providing a skilled, trained workforce for the present business. And I think that's the key thing that we have as a board. We have to make sure the college stays proactive, make sure the leadership of the college stays proactive, and very attuned to what the communities need. And we have it at Northeastern now, and we want to maintain that and grow upon it.
John, I was about to ask you, if you weren't currently the Senior Human Resource Manager at Takata Highland, what do you think you'd be doing? But it sounds like the excitement you've got for Northeastern, it sounds like you'd have some primary role. You'd be over there trying to recruit more folks. And
yeah, we take a very personal interest in the college, being it's close to our community and close to our hearts. It's not difficult at all to get very involved and feel a part of it. That's the beauty of a small town, I think, and the rural counties. You stick together a little bit and you take part in things together to try and make it better. And I would definitely be involved with the college in some way.
You heard John Briggs say it, the Senior Human Resource Manager at Takata Highland. The beauty of the tech college system is the excitement of teaming the communities together in such a very special way. John, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Dorr Depew and John Briggs for making today's Carolina People such a great success.